Greetings to one and all, it's your old buddy Jay here, coming at you with another episode of Countermeasures J Play. Now, this is the last place where we can hang out. Now, are we doing this whole thing in our bunny outfit? We might as well, mightn't we? Come on. I think we might be heading towards the finale. This is either going to be over in 5 minutes or 12 hours trying to defeat the last boss. Some of them are easy and some of them are not so easy. Oh, this looks like a boss fight arena. Ever I've seen one.
I can see it. The end of my journey.
Okay. Uh-oh. What's happened to Adam? Adam, no! I got a new tattoo.
I've been waiting.
It's like I thought. It was you.
Adam. Why is it Adam here?
I know this is a disappointment. I'm sorry, Eve.
This doesn't make any sense.
Everything that has happened until now, and even before, it began with me. I am the source of it all.
No, plot twist.
Adam. Or would you prefer I call you Elder? What are you scheming? You pretended to rescue me. Pretended to help me on my mission.
So weird.
Under the guise of helping Zion.
This feels like they wrote the story and this is the first draft.
I want forgiveness.
Enough of this nonsense!
Hello again. Something just dropped off.
My comrades, the people of Zion who trusted you. Tell me why they had to die.
Trusted you.
Eve, you have every right to be.
I don't know this guy's motivations.
Elder Natiba, you.
Please listen to me, Eve. First, I'm sorry for what happened between you and Raven.
It just happened.
She had her own motives, and that way she was a lot like Orko. As you've discovered, you were created by the surviving humans to look and act like them. And us, we're nothing but monsters. Right from the start, we struggled to coexist. Of course we did. Because we Natibas were weak. We were not yet mature enough to fully accept your kind. This foolishness resulted in tragedy. In the end, we gave up our humanity in order to survive.
Then you threw us out into space!
Earth is too small for both our species to coexist. However, even if all the Natibas disappear, it's impossible for your kind to succeed the human race. After all, you were created entirely from scratch, with no human DNA at all.
And what is it you're going to do? You think you're the one to end this gruesome slaughter?
Yes.
Yep.
I've been researching for decades to find a way.
I think I might agree with Adam.
A way for us all to become the inheritors of the human race. An Andro Eidos, with the most advanced unicinous hyperbody ever seen. And the ultimate Naytiba that has not succumbed to its hostile instincts.
This is so
These are the
boring.
2 necessary ingredients.
You mean...
Yes,
We join it together.
you and I.
Adam and
We
Eve.
are what is needed.
A bit on the nose, isn't it?
I offer you one last deal. Let us become whole.
If we join him, do we have to
One
fight?
being. A single, evolved human species.
That sounds good.
If we fuse together, we can truly become the seeds of a new human race.
If I join him,
That's insane! There's no point in listening to this, Eve.
At this rate, Mother Sphere will do the same thing over and over again.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she even destroyed the colony, and thereby Earth. As you know, she will not stop. But this is not the path that humans should take.
But there's no proof that this fusion is the right path to take. Especially considering everything you've done.
You're right, Lily. However, my wish to save the new humans and surviving humans is sincere.
Yeah.
As unbelievable as it may be.
No, it doesn't sound unbelievable at all.
Lily, take this.
But this is...
This is the last hypercell needed to rebuild Zion. Zion can be saved no matter what choice Eve makes. It would mean so much if you could do this for me. Eve, your mission is to eliminate me. If you fuse with me, the Elder Naytiba as you know it will cease to exist. Forever. Is there any better way to complete your mission?
He's right.
Eve. Take my hand. I can save you. We can save each other. We can save everyone.
He's absolutely right. Are we going to do it? Not without some more dialogue. Take Adam's hand, don't take his hand. What do you think? So we were sent down here to kill the Naytibas, and we keep being sent down here. He's trying to find another way for the humans to continue existence, because the Mother Sphere is like a crazy AI that keeps sending these people down to stop the Naytibas, when actually the Naytibas are the humans. So we've been sent down here. We're the bad guys. We've been killing people. Now we can either kill him and continue and basically finish our mission for the Mother Sphere, and it all restarts again, or we take his hand and merge to become something else. I think we're going to take his hand. That's why you're the chosen one, Eve. If you weren't the chosen one, it would just be resetting it all again, and it would just do it again. It's time. And we got a hot bunny suit on. You know.
Eve, no! You can't fall for this!
The purpose of our existence is to eliminate the Elder Naytiba and save mankind. Naytiba or Andro Eidos. Is one more human than the other? If an entire species is wiped out so that another may remain, can we really call that salvation?
But...
She didn't get to use the
I want
mech
a way to
suit.
save both species. I want to follow that path to the end. That's all I want.
Yes. So do I.
Animated
We are
arms.
to each other. Your choice may not bring about peace and stability right away, but our union will create the greatest chance for a peaceful future. Now.
Yes.
Get a cool outfit now. And wings. Yay!
Eve?
Are you Eve?
Yes. Well,
Adam's
hard to
hands.
describe, but Lily, I am the Eve you remember.
She's got a bow tie and
was
the
worried.
serious jiggle going on.
You had become someone I didn't know.
Lily.
Uh-oh. There is a fight anyway.
Connection to the colony complete. Sending protocol.
We are going to fight.
Sensing strong Natiba signals nearby. Switching to combat mode.
Okay.
Ah! The exosuit is moving by itself.
It must be because the Elder disappeared.
This is a combat command sent from the colony. Ah! Eve! Watch out!
Okay, run. Oh, we can parry. What? Just revive. Can we just start at the fight? I don't want to start back at the... Oh, come on. Why do I have to re-choose? Let's get all the junk. Straight into the fight. Yeah, that's better. Ah! Get up! Oh dear. You don't want me to dodge that. Haha. Stun a robot. Ah, you got hold of me. Ah, it's just the same, the repeat patterns of what we just did. Yeah, let's use a pump, whatever.
access detected. Eliminated.
Lily! Mother Sphere. You've been watching everything. From the beginning. Lily! Lily! Eve. It's done. Let's go back. It's over.
You know, I prefer the old Eve. But I don't want to become one with Mother Sphere. Lily!
A starry night. Predicting the future is like reaching for the stars themselves. Darkness everywhere, guided only by a distant light. And what that light may be, I wish I could tell you. perhaps strange new beings will emerge and be hastened deeper into the unknown. That being said, I will always serve the future. Even if the future does not align with what is expected.
Mother Sphere?
Nice to meet you, Eve. Well done. You've more than met my expectations. The final decision was a bit disappointing, yes, but... still, I thank you.
Enough of this nonsense!
This now concludes the Eve Protocol.
You can't just spit out words and end things like this!
Then, farewell.
Wait!
How's that? So these are all the Eves, right? The cyborgs.
So this is your plan? Then I'll gladly play my part.
Come on now. We're
I swear,
gonna fight this lot.
we'll meet again. Ah, God.
We're fighting these dudes now. I'm a badass. I don't have an energy bar, so I'm assuming I just hack these guys up. What is this? That's it! Is that it? Is it finished? Hooray! We did it! Oh dear. How come Adam gets top billing? Oh, let's skip all this. What was that, about 30 hours? Maybe a bit longer? They went hard with the music in this game. They didn't just have the old kind of theme tune just kind of looping, and you know, each level had its own theme tune and that was just what was going on. It had like proper singing. I do appreciate that, because not enough songs that appear in games have like proper vocals on them, and all of the songs in this were bangers. I thought they were great. And the first game I've played for ages where that was like proper singing and not just the main song. It's like all of the different level songs and boss fights, they all had their own sort of theme tunes and twists, like own vocals. It was really good. It's very rare for that to happen. Like maybe in like a kind of Japanese developed game, maybe like Final Fantasy or something like that. But even that would just be a throwback to what they used to do. Not many games, modern games these days, actually do that as a kind of, you know, I guess because it's the cost, and probably someone has to write them. Then they have to deal with vocalists and copyright, and when they want to re-release, probably the problem will be is they'll want to re-release this game in 10 years, and they'll have to ditch all the vocals or something. Because the artist won't, unless they've signed all their rights off, they won't want to do it, you know. Or maybe they just want a fat check. That'd be nice too. Yeah. Man, I just want to skip through this. Can I skip through this? No. I don't. I mean, there's so many people. Look at how many people are involved in the creation of this. Just goes to show that, like, the different levels of people involved with these games. You know, these days, like these budgets of millions and millions of dollars. You know, these budgets that blow the roof off anything that was done sort of 10 or 15 years ago. It's all the marketing, it's all the, like, look, global sales and business operations are in here as well. Channel sales, digital channel sales, like people who are running it in other countries, you know, they're all credited with building this game. So everyone and their monkey are thrown into the credits of these games now, because they all get paid to promote it and to put, look, PR media relationships manager in Portugal. I mean, there's thanking everyone and then there's thanking everyone, you know. Bob who makes the tea, you know. Little Jimmy who delivers the parcels. Everybody gets a pat on the back, but they, to be fair, they're an intrinsic part of the system. Without them, it wouldn't be functioning as well as it is, and you wouldn't get games like this. Now, what do I think about this? I think I enjoyed it. I mean, everywhere I look, it's like it's getting like solid 7 out of 10. Some places are giving it an 8. Not getting many 10 out of 10s. But I have to admit that the voice acting was really terrible. Although Eve's was okay. And obviously it's not its home native language or whatever, so the translation into English, you know, maybe they didn't get the best set of voice actors for it. Like Adam in particular was terrible, so that wasn't so great. I thought the overall look of it was pretty good. I mean, I love games where you're, you know, one part of the game you're in a sort of small tiny corridor doing puzzles, the next part of the game you're in this massive open world where you can just run around and you're in this big skybox. Then you're in another part where you're in kind of like these great big spaceship sort of environments where you look up and it's just you know, this huge great big machines with moving parts and everything. Just the dedication to the art direction of that and the dedication to having each environment feel different, I thought was outstanding. Really good. Some AAA games could really learn from this. I thought they did that really well. Her journey does not end. Okay. So the sequel bait That's fine. Sometimes with these games, when they launch, people aren't sure how they're going to do. So maybe they had a nice big fat budget, but maybe they didn't have as much money as they needed to to actually do some of the things they wanted to do. So that's why a lot of these games are almost like the first one that comes out is like a kind of is like a test bed for whether or not it's going to be successful. It has a good enough budget to make it good, but they don't throw everything at it because if it fails, then they lose a lot of money. Whereas I would say this has actually been quite successful. And they're baiting a sequel. I bet there's a sequel in the works. I bet they're already talking about it. And hopefully, what that means is they'll get more money, and the second one will be better. And more often in these franchises than not, the second one is the better one. Like Assassin's Creed, for example. I know it's an Ubisoft game, but back when Ubisoft weren't such a toxic company, they created Assassin's Creed, didn't know if it was going to be a hit or a miss, and then it's progressively got more bloated. But the second one, Assassin's Creed 2, is generally seen as being one of the best in the series because they had more money to spend on it, and the proof of concept had already been kind of shown that it worked with the first one. So hopefully they'll bring a second one out and they'll fix all the problems that this had. I did really enjoy playing it. I really like these kinds of games. There's I've got really into Dark Souls and Sekiro and Elden Ring especially. I love all those games now. I was never really a big fan. Tried to get into them in the past. A lot of games then kind of copied them, so they've kind of generated this whole kind of Souls-like kind of subgenre of games where a lot of the sort of approach to how you do combat and how things are kind of generally paced in those games, and the enemies that you fight and the variety of enemies you fight tend to follow that kind of Souls pattern. So this game does have a little bit of that. Oh, got new skills added. Hang on, what's happening? Hard mode unlocked. Okay. You start in the Raven suit. Okay, cool. So yeah, this game does kind of borrow a bit of that. No, let's not do a new game. What I want to do is just stop the music. Can I do that? Let's have a look. Let's go back to boss challenge? Boss challenge? Oh. So what happens if I just do that? Settings from last. Okay. Just trying to get it on the screen where the music isn't going full guns blazing. Yeah, so there's obviously bits where it's followed that kind of Souls template, and I quite like that. There were moments in this game where it felt a bit Metal Gear, where you were doing some sneaky stuff. There were moments in this game where it felt very God of War. You're running around, you're opening chests, and you're getting like these little upgrades pop out. I know that's like every game now, but that is a God of War thing for me, and especially the remakes, the 2018 one and the 2023 version of Ragnarok. Those kind of game mechanics. Then it had things like Resident Evil sections where it was a little bit spooky, and you were fighting sort of monsters crawling on the ground and things like that. So I appreciate the variety. You can see where all its influences have come from. And sometimes when those things are all pushed together and mixed up, it doesn't work. But I would say that 9 times out of 10 in this particular game, it does work, and I do appreciate that. And I like the fact that they've taken all the best bits of things they like and they've pulled them together to see if they fit. And in some, like I said, 99% of the time, it does work. The only thing that doesn't work is that they wanted some kind of platforming element in this game. So they looked at things like Uncharted, and they looked at things like Jedi Fallen Order, etc., etc. And in those games, it's much more kind of it's a little bit more almost cartoony in a way. There's like an element to it which is a little bit more computer game where you're jumping and leaping. But what is very prevalent in those games is that the quality of the climbing and and again Assassin's Creed, the quality of the climbing and the ledges and things you can grab onto, things you can't, it's amazing, right? Whereas in this, it's totally hit and miss. I mean, aside from the boss fights, I was pretty OP throughout this whole game, but then I took my time and I built my character up, and I didn't feel like there wasn't anything that I couldn't take on. And then some of the boss fights were really easy. There were about 3 towards the end, like the 2 Raven ones, and then maybe the robot one, but it gave me less. I started to notice things with the robot fight at the end, where there were patterns forming that were very similar to how Raven was programmed, like 1 hit, then 2 hits, then like a flurry of 5 hits. Those patterns were virtually the same. So I felt more confident fighting the robot at the end than Raven. But by the time I'd learned how to fight Raven, by the time you go into the robot one, maybe that's on purpose. I'm not sure it is. I think they probably just took those attack patterns. And then the things where the robot would fly off and fly up, very similar to how like Raven would fly off and fly up and do her different moves. So there were patterns starting to form. And I guess the more you play these games, that's how it works. Like with Dark Souls, you start to recognize the patterns, and when you've got the pattern down, then the 50th time you're fighting that boss, you take him out, or maybe the second time you fight him, you take him out, depending on what connects with you and how quickly that connects and how used to that style of fighting and the format of, oh, they do this, now I do this, they do this, now I do this, so I started to notice a little bit of that. Like I said, I felt OP in the game, more or less. Was doing a lot of side quests. Everything was going really well. And then you'd hit the platforming sections, and it would just like... I would die just constantly, just slipping off ledges. Like the connectivity of what I thought I could jump onto and what I couldn't was like all over the place. Like in Uncharted or Assassin's Creed is probably not a great example because you can climb everything. There's not really that many indicators anymore of what you can and can't climb in those games. You can just climb everything. Whereas with this, they had some indicators and some that weren't indicators. Then they had indicators paint, like the yellow paint on things that looked like you could do something with it, but then you couldn't. So there was some sort of mixed messages going on. And I think because of that, and also that there were some invisible walls on things that you would normally be able to climb in like Assassin's Creed or like in Nathan Drake, Uncharted series. In this, you would jump to go onto that ledge, but the invisible wall would just push you back out. So there were some moments like that I kind of feel let the game down, because if you're going to do it, and it's been done so well before, and considering how... they've obviously taken leaves out of the books of like God of War and all those other games and how well they've done that in this game. Why wouldn't you just tidy that all up? I mean, maybe it needs a patch where it just tidies up. I'm hoping... I mean, it sounds like one of the more difficult things to do in a game, to have your character kind of jumping and holding onto ledges. There were moments where she was climbing with her hands, and her hands looked like PS2 graphics, because I guess that kind of ledge gripping mechanic is complicated somehow. I mean, it's probably one of the more harder things to do, to have someone kind of have one artifact climb up another or whatever. But if they get more budget and they work on it next time, there is no reason why they couldn't absolutely knock that out of the park. So it is a letdown on this game, but I will say that hopefully they'll fix it for the sequel, or or DLC. I doubt there'll be DLC. I think it'll just be a full game. So things that I liked about it, I don't know what else to say about the actual main character. She's pretty one-dimensional. It's good that you have different costumes. I'm a big fan of different costumes, of like going through games and putting different outfits on, and especially with like Fallen Order, you could mix and match like capes and hoods and things like that. I love all that stuff. So dressing up my toys as a kid, I guess, get your dollies out. I guess that's what that is, sort of for semi-grown-ups like myself. But then you get to this game and it's like on a whole nother level of like borderline pornography, basically, where you've got they know their audience. It's like a fan base of simps just sitting at home playing these games, of which I'm now part of that fan base. I don't know, sometimes I was playing this and I was like, oh, can't let the wife see this is a bit ropey. And other times, like, the kids would be running by and I'd be like, she's in a bunny suit running with her butt cheeks out, running around the desert. I mean, my boy comes in and says, Daddy, what are you playing? I'm like, so the outfits were creative and they were fun, and they were gratuitous. And I wonder if there's one side of me that thinks they've just done it because it's like a fanboy thing. There's another side to me that thinks it might be a slight backlash towards woke culture. I mean, that's a deeper, much longer conversation, but I'm wondering if, the fact that games like Tomb Raider used to be very sort of underlyingly sexual, and the more recent ones have become much grittier. Like she's become kind of less of a sort of woman and become more of this kind of soldier. So it's not as sexy. And then games like this come out, and it's just like total other end. It's like she's running around with a magician's outfit on with a bunny rabbit tail, and there's like a 60 or 70 outfits in this game, as far as I'm aware. I think I got about 20 of them maybe, but there's a whole load more. And if you want to go back and do the New Game Plus, you can go back through. You're not left in the world, like the open world, to go and finish off all the side missions. I think that's a mistake. I think that's something that's just standard in games like this now. Like with Elden Ring, if you want to get to a certain point, it'll let you save beyond the end of the game, and then you can go out and do the side missions and clean those up. Encourages further gameplay. Maybe people want to mainline the story, and then they're like, oh, I want to get back to that, and they want to go back and do the side missions. That's not the case with this. If you want to go and do the side missions you missed, get the trophies, you have to start again. So that's why they've chucked New Game Plus in immediately. Usually you have to wait for that a little bit, but they've just got that kind of included straight away, because they know if people want to get back into it, they have to go back through the whole thing again, which I think is a little bit of a shame, really, because I don't always want to play through the story again. I just want to kind of tidy up the bits and then eventually get the Platinum Trophy. And if you're really enjoying a game like Fallen Order, for example, and the sequels, the Jedi Survivor, I feel like that sort of game is different in that, like, you probably will pick those trophies up as you're progressing through the game, because there are moments in that game where the pacing and the speed of everything just slows right down and just lets you do stuff, and then you can come back to the main story and carry on. Whereas with this, I kind of felt that maybe happened one or two times, but it didn't really feel like you had the freedom to go off and do all this other side stuff, or there weren't many indicators to say you should do this now. With that in mind, you kind of think, well, maybe I'll get the opportunity later, but you won't. So that is a bit of a down. That's another point off, I think, for that, not having it quite so open-ended. Also, there was a moment in this game where you're basically meant to build up a meter for Lily to 100%. Before you do a certain mission. Now, I hadn't really realised that, and I was going around doing loads of side stuff anyway, and I got to about 92%, and then I just saw it was like 92% or something like that, and then the mission came up and said, if you go past this next point, you won't be able to do any of the side quests. And I was like, fine, I feel like I've done enough side quests. And also, you don't have to do all the side quests to get Lily's bar up, so that's fine. So then when I went through to the next level, what happened was it locked me out of being able to progress Lily to 100%. And when she hits 100% at that point, you get an optional mission. So when you click to go and do this one mission, she says, hey, let's go and do this other thing, and it gives you a third option for the final end of the story. Now, I feel like I got the right end of the story, but there is a third secret ending that I immediately locked myself out of. And as soon as I did that, I just kind of thought, well, I'm not going to bother finishing any of the side missions now or getting any of the collectibles other than the outfits if I see them, because what is the point ultimately? Because you're already on the path towards the final level, and I feel like that path was kind of predetermined a little bit too early. Had it have been delayed a little bit, and you got to like 90% of the game and then that option came up, fair enough. Or maybe you hit 100% with Lily and then that mission triggers somewhere else, then fair enough. But with this, it kind of felt like, oh, we're into this part of the game now. Oh, there's still a third of the game left to play, but the option to do any side missions is totally gone. So I feel like that wasn't emphasized enough that was going to happen. And also, and it's not like a secret squirrel thing where you're like, in this game you're particularly needing to do research online to go and find hidden things. It's not that kind of game. Maybe if you want to go and find the odd outfit that's around a corner or something like that, that's fine, but you're not searching around for deep lore, because this game doesn't have deep lore. A lot of the writing and a lot of the things that you're picking up, it's all very kind of surface level conversations between people that live in this world, so that's fine. I do feel I kind of feel like so yeah, that was a bit of a bummer because there was a moment I was playing this and I started playing it and I thought, am I going to see this through to the end? But here I am sort of 30 plus hours in, and I did enjoy it, and had I have had the option to do more side missions in that last third and get the secret ending or whatever, I definitely would have done it. So yeah, I kind of feel like that dropped off. I don't really want to go back and play this again. So regardless of the new Game Plus, I don't want to go back and play it again just to get the collectibles. I think that's and also when you look at the trophies, I think with these sorts of games, especially with PlayStation, you have to be careful about what kind of trophies you attach to your game. You have to think about, what if someone only plays through this once? Are we locking them out, saying, oh no, you have to go back and replay? Is it something to do with replayability? They want to get people back into the game? I don't necessarily think that's true. I think the decision for that should be my decision. It's like, if I want to go through slowly and get all these trophies, I will do that on my playthrough, on the single playthrough. I was never going to play this twice. As soon as you're playing through and one of the trophies is like, complete the mission on hard, complete the mission on easy, complete the mission only using this outfit, complete the mission, so like things like that are like, or start and finish the game not using your gun or only using your gun, things like that. I don't find them interesting. The problem is that if it was a 5 or 6 hour game, then yeah, okay, fine, we'll just go through and mess around with all of that. That's fitting for that kind of game. For a game like this, where you could easily sink 50 hours into it if you were doing all the searching, etc., you're not going to keep going back and playing 50 hours into it every time. You're just not going to do it. So I think there's an imbalance on the trophy system there, and that's something that isn't unique to this game. It's actually it's actually a problem with a lot of games, I find. Because, I'm a busy man, I'm a dad, and I run a business, and I kind of have stuff going on, but I like gaming. I shouldn't be penalised because I want to play a game in a certain way and it's not allowing me to. So I feel like I should have the option there. So, play through and collect all the trophies at my own pace, not necessarily forcing me to play through twice, because if I don't want to, I don't have the time to particularly go through and do all those missions again that I'd already completed just to get a document that's on some guy sitting at the bottom of a well that I missed. I'm just not going to do it. So that's my rant over. Generally, it was fine. I think I still don't really know what happened in this game. I feel like there is a problem with the storytelling. That's another aspect I didn't really touch too much on. But for the first 2/3 of this game, I was like, what are we doing? We're trying to get to the Alpha Naytiba, who's like the big bad guy, but then you do that at some point and it's just almost like hand waved, and then they give you another. It's like they got to that point and it's like, we can't finish the game now, we'll just keep going. So they kind of open this thing up, and then suddenly Adam, who's been your random helper for a while, is suddenly like the big bad guy. And it stinks of first draft writing and nobody fact or sense checking it at all. So the writing definitely let it down. I didn't really know what was happening until the end, and then at the end they kind of don't go. It's all a bit kind of whatever. They really should have emphasized the fact that actually Eve is one of the bad guys that keeps being sent down to stamp out the Naytibas. The Naytibas are evolved human beings, but they are slowly dying out, and the only way to survive, I feel, was the ending that I chose, which is to merge together, and then in merging together you have a different life form that then kind of proceeds to live in peace and harmony. And the game ends in quite an interesting way, actually. There was a moment where I was about to choose one of my options. One of them was like, yes, Adam, let's merge together. The other, Adam and Eve, by the way, terrible. Just the worst on the nose thing I think I've seen in a game for such a long time. But we were about to shake hands, and you can and you can't, and I thought, oh, okay, wouldn't it be cool, right, if you go to shake his hand and you accept him, and then there is no fight. The end of the game just plays out, and that is the end of the game. So I guess they can't do that because it's a computer game. There has to be a boss fight, even though I just had a boss fight. They had to have another boss fight. So I'm guessing if you don't choose him, you fight him. If you do choose him like I did and merge, then the mother sphere or whatever takes over the robot. You fight. Lily dies. Does she die? I think she dies. Or yeah, she dies in the end. She didn't have to die. We could have just saved her. That would have been quite cool. Or maybe she merges to become a Naytiba or whatever, but they didn't do that. then all the drop pods land and the eaves come out, and the game ends where you're literally just fighting and the screen fades to black. Now, I think that's quite a bold ending for this, and I would have quite happily just had that as the final thing. You know, you shake his hand, the drop pods land, you don't have to fight the robot. You just, because the robot didn't do anything, and at some point I thought, all right, we're probably going to have a scrap. And then you fight the other Eves, and then it sort of fades out. You know, and I think that worked really well, and it's a bold ending actually. It's just a shame that the rest of the writing wasn't quite up to that level. So yeah, that's basically my review of the game. It has some really high highs and it has some really low lows. So you know, it's not a 10, that's for sure. It's not a 5. Like 5 is good, average. 6 is kind of above average. 7 is good. 7 is good. Most people are giving it a 7. I had more fun with it than I thought. There were some laugh out loud moments where I was doing some platforming that just was. There was a bit where you were in one of the underground lair things that's a bit like Resident Evil, and you're jumping over multiple platforms, and some of them drop and some of them don't. That was a mess. You know, just cut that out. Nobody cares about that. There's plenty of other good gameplay to focus on. With those kind of moments in mind, I can't give it a 10. It's not a 9. I think it's probably a 7. I want to give it an 8, but I think it's a 7. I think it's a strong 7. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm not going to go back to it. I would play a second one. I mean, you know, that's... I mean, look at this! It's ridiculous! What's happening? Also, the camera that goes right above you, that's really handy. Look, so you can go around. And, a lot of games, they kind of just get to like here, and then you sort of circle your character. Whereas this one goes up, right up to the top. So there's some design decisions that maybe were a mistake. I don't know. Anyway, 7 out of 10. I would recommend you play it if you got the time, but don't play it twice. So until next time, be good, stay safe, and be kind to one another. Peace out, we gone. Ow.